And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live Q&A here on the Film Stocked channel. It is Wednesday, March 13th. We're hanging out, answering the questions for however long we go. But there's lots to talk about today. The Batman Part 2 has been delayed. There's some Scream 7 drama. The Oscars happened this week. So I'm here to hang out and answer your questions, but I'm not doing this alone. I've got a guest joining me on this stream, and that is Ben from Meters Reviews. Ben, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's been a minute. You and I have known each other for over 2-3 years, I'd say. It's been a while. So it's good to have you back on the channel.
Yeah, I often accredit you to the first person that helped me make a thumbnail on YouTube.
Oh wow. That's a throwback right there. Oh
Yeah,
man.
so
Dude, time
you will
flies.
always be remembered for that. So
That's a huge throwback. And obviously we played Fall Guys on stream that one time on Twitch. That was fun.
we did. That was fun. That
Oh
game is
yeah.
what, dead now?
I think, but I'm never opposed to hopping on again. It's been like a year since or it has been like about a year since I've played it. But
That
yeah,
was fun.
Fall Guys, man, fun times. But let's
Indeed.
see, we're firing off in the chat right now. Go ahead and get your questions in, and we will answer as many as we can. So super chat's the way to go to guarantee we get right to your question, comment, or concern, and hit the like button if you guys are in here. If you're on the replay as well, welcome, man. I know a lot of you guys, you're asleep right now because you're on the other side of the world. So Connor's in here. What's good? How you doing? Let's see. Santa Claus 10 says, I remember saying Scream 7 was doomed probably 2 weeks ago on a live stream. Maybe it's not. Yeah, we talked about this recently, and I want to get your thoughts on it, Ben. But like a few weeks ago, I was like, that movie's dead. It's never going to happen. And then yesterday, I think the news breaks that Nev Campbell's coming back to play Sydney, and Kevin Williamson's going to direct the movie. It's a weird feeling for me. How are you feeling?
I would probably have agreed with you probably 2 days ago. The movie was dead. I thought that they were gonna sell the rights to it. But it looks like who has it now? What is that?
Spyglass, I think, right?
Yeah, they I guess they're trying to bring it back, and the fact that Nev Campbell's returning, I was kind of like, oh, like I feel bad for former cast members that seemed like they were kind of uniting in solidarity to detach themselves away from the franchise as much as possible, and now they're in. But saw a report that like, oh, she like tried to get Melissa Barrera back in like meetings, but they didn't want to do it, whatever. So Spyglass was like, here's a dump truck of money, and you want to come back? And I guess you said yes.
That seems to be the case. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna watch the movie. I
Yeah.
just don't have as much excitement as I wish I could, because I would have loved to have seen a trilogy with Sam and Tara, but that's just never going to happen. Then you go on Twitter though, and I mean the clip from like the end of Scream 6 is circulating, and I look at it and I go, that's kind of a perfect ending to their story, so I can live
Right.
with that. But I don't know. It felt weird because Nev Campbell had this whole thing where she wasn't going to come back for Scream 6, and now she's back. It just feels all very, very strange to me. And so it's hard to get like jazzed up for it. I'm going to watch it. Like I said, Scream's one of my favorite horror franchises, but I'm not like as excited as I wish I could be, to be honest.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Movie Fan 2002 says, with the Batman Part 2 delayed until October 2nd, 2026, what is now your most anticipated film for next year? Because this was my most anticipated for next year. Was it yours as well?
Probably, but next year seems pretty stacked.
It's stacked, dude.
Um, I thought this year was stacked. I think next year's stacked. Next year, it might have to be Fantastic Four.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can't go wrong
I
with
mean,
that.
exactly. But what about you?
I would say, well, I tweet recently. It was talking about all the directors who have new movies coming out. And I believe next year is when we'll get the new Tarantino movie, The Movie Critic.
Ooh,
And
right.
so that's up there for me. If it is actually his last movie, which all signs are pointing to that, but I feel like 10 or 15 years from now, he could probably just say, I'm coming out of retirement, and use it as like a gimmick,
Yeah.
like a marketing gimmick. But I would say that's up there for me. Obviously, Fantastic Four is up there for me. I would also throw in the new PTA movie, Paul Thomas
Ooh, yeah.
Anderson with Leo. And I've been reading about that one. Apparently it's like a departure from what PTA normally does, and it's getting a big IMAX release.
Yeah.
And I need to finish his movies. I'm missing on 2 of them. I haven't seen Inherent Vice, and then Phantom Thread. But I've seen all the other ones. In 2020, I went through like a watch of his movies. But
Yeah.
yeah, are you a fan of PTA?
Um, I I think I, like, loved, Licorice Pizza. It was,
Hmm.
like, one of the last movies I saw before the end of the year, and I was like, "Damn, I love that." I think it made my top 10. Didn't like Punch Drunk Love. I think you do like that one,
Yeah, I
right?
do.
Yeah. Um, what else? Oh, Boogie Nights I wasn't crazy about, but I think before, his new movie comes out, whenever it does, if it is next year, I'll binge through them all, see the ones I haven't seen, like, the ones I haven't seen the ones that you haven't seen also. Um, but what do you speaking of Tarantino, what do you think of, the supposed rumor of Shane Gillis?
I dude, that's absurd. Like I love Shane Gillis. His comedy's funny. He's very funny. He's probably like top tier for me personally, one of the funniest stand-up comedians right now. Absolutely ridiculous though. I don't think he's gonna be I don't think he's gonna land the role. I know it was gonna be Paul Walter Hauser at one point, and they haven't made anything official for like who's gonna be the lead man, but Shane
Yeah.
Gillis, that just feels like a fever dream, dude. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Does he have any acting, experience? Like,
You bring up a good point. I think he had like a skit show, like something similar to Key and Peele, or like SNL that he was on, and I've seen clips from it. Like if you've seen that meme of him where he like puts the gun in his mouth and then points it back, like it's a
okay,
popular meme. That's from like
yeah.
the skit show he did, but I don't think he has any legit acting experience. So when that report came out, I was reading about it, and like the link that was a source looked super shady. It was like one paragraph. I think it's BS. I don't think he's actually going to land the role.
Yeah, I don't know, but the fact that if it is true, the fact that Tarantino wants him as the lead role, I think it says something, regardless of whether us as an audience is like, "What the hell are you doing?" So we'll see.
I trust the man. I mean, he's
Exactly.
said he like usually writes his parts with an actor in mind, and so whatever he does, I'm sure it's going to be gold. He's never made a bad movie, in
Yeah.
my opinion. So we'll just have to see what legitimately who is cast for the role. We have a super chat from Dank Sinatra, a legend, says Dub Film Stock. Well, thank you, I appreciate it. And Dank is a long time supporter, especially on Twitch. Those were the days. All right, let's see. Looking through the chat here. Talkboy Studios, what's up? Connor Production says Venom 3 is now coming out on my birthday. Is that a good or bad thing, Connor? Because I'm not a Venom guy. Did you see the
The
title, The
Last
Last
Dance.
Dance? Yeah. Wow.
That's that's something. I think they can't be serious. Like, what are we serious right now?
I hope the movie is watchable because I don't think the second
Yes.
one is. The third one, or not third one, the first one is all right at best. It's still like pretty bad in my opinion, but people are like, it's fun. I don't even have any fun with that movie. It's super bland to me.
I am right there with you. I was actually one of the few movies I walked out of in the theater. I was like, "I hate this."
No
So, I
way.
walked out. Swear to God.
That's incredible.
Um, and then I, like, watched the full thing, and I was like, "Yeah, I wasn't missing out." But, I thought Venom 2 was better, actually. I hope the third one would be good, but, I don't know. I don't really have much faith after, Madam Web.
No, it's very hard to have any optimism with Sony. I don't think Craven's gonna do well. I don't think Venom 2 is gonna do or Venom 3 is gonna do well. It's pretty bleak over there right now. Sean, what's up? How you doing? Ryan, welcome in. The I'm Just Ken number is the highlight of this year's Oscars. Probably one of the highlights. Would you agree?
Yeah, or, that or My Eye See Oppenheimer.
My eyes see Oppenheimer. The way that he just said it, I was like, dude, I have not stopped watching that clip though. It's become a meme already. Um,
Yeah, it has.
Absurd.
No, but, the moment like, I just had the biggest smile on my face watching I'm Just Ken. I think that they knew what they were doing and they executed it so well.
Yeah, it was well done. And Ryan Gosling's the man. I saw on Twitter or X, whatever the hell you want to call it, last night that the Fall Guy it's getting pretty high praise early reactions, which you have to take every early reaction kind of with a grain of salt nowadays. But I'm excited for that. I really dug Bullet Train. It was like in my top 5 favorites. I think you aren't as high on Bullet Train. I could be wrong there. But
Yeah, I thought it was
I
fine.
really dug it.
Maybe I'll have to rewatch it, but, I think I don't know how many trailers they have for the Fall Guy, but the one that like comes to mind, I did not think was that good. So it
Okay.
didn't get me too excited.
Yeah.
But the fact that Ryan Gosling is in the lead, Emily Blunt is like the co-lead, and it's from David Leitch, who's a great guy when it comes to action. Like, I'm interested.
Yeah, I don't even remember the trailers for this movie, to be honest with you. But I don't care. Like, I was sold on David Leitch. I think they played it before I saw the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. They played the trailer, I want to say, and I didn't really. It was like in one ear out the other because I just
Right.
didn't. I try not to really dwell on trailers in the movie theater too much. I kind of don't remember I know the premise,
Yeah.
a few lines, and I remember there was I think a Super Bowl spot. I could be wrong there, but where there's like a Taylor Swift needle
Yeah,
drop.
yeah, yeah.
I've seen
That was
that.
funny.
And so I think I'll enjoy it. But yeah, that was one of the highlights of the Oscars for sure, Ryan. Star Courts in the chat. Shout out Jacob, GOAT moderator. We got a super chat from Movie Fan 2002. Shout out Movie Fan 2002. Christopher Nolan has now made a Best Picture winner. This is a fact. This is a fact. And I let's talk about this. Two things kind of branch off this. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. First question for you, Ben. What do you think his next movie will be? I saw there was a report. It could be some remake of a 60s TV show. But what do you think it will be? And what do you want it to be? The pressure's on.
I think I might have a similar answer to both. Let's do like a little return to form of like something kind of smaller scale, something to the to like a Memento, like a Prestige. I think that honestly, most film fans would probably agree that like I think that would be nice to see from him. Go back to where he started with the like smaller scale filmmaking. I mean, of course, like give me 10 more Oppenheimers, but I think something smaller would be cool. In terms of like what he wants to do, I don't. The fact that like whole like him remaking a '60s TV show, like I could see that. Like I feel like that would be something up his alley. But what about you?
I'm leaning. I liked the premise of what I read online. It seemed like almost borderline like a psychological thriller of sorts. The way that he was
Mm,
going to take this remake. I am all in on the Bond train, though. I think that now that he's got the Oscar, I mean, he gave us the Dark Knight trilogy. It's been 12 years since Rises came out. I want to say. I think it's time he could get a Bond trilogy, and they pitch it like that up front. They're like, "Hey, Bond trilogy, I'm in. I'm so down." I was thinking about this the other day. Super random thought. Q in the James Bond films is kind of like the guy who's James Bond's tech guy. He's sort of the Lucius of like the Dark Knight trilogy, but he's in Bond. And I think the guy who plays the character Newt in the Maze Runner movies would be a great Q. He also plays the character Jojen in Game of Thrones. I think that he would be a very good Q, and I don't know why that thought popped into my head when I was watching the Maze Runner movies recently, but I was like, I could see him being in a Nolan movie as Q. Who would Bond be? It would be fitting in that case probably to have a Tom Hardy reunion with Nolan, but I don't know if the ship has sailed for the Tom Hardy as James Bond talks.
yeah, I think is he pushing like 45 maybe?
He's getting up there.
Yeah.
To get
I
a
don't know.
trilogy out of him at this age would be like might be
Yeah,
a tough ask.
that's like the next like let's say if they were to start pre-production this year, it's like we're saying like 15 years maybe for a trilogy or something like that.
Yeah.
So is Newt is okay, this I don't know if you know this. Is Newt the one that plays Ferb from Phineas and Ferb?
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that. Let me look this up on IMDb real quick. If that's the case, that's an insane revelation because I didn't hold on. Phineas and Ferb. I'm looking up on IMDb. Um, let's see. Yes.
Oh my god, he is.
Yes. That's a nice snag right there. I did not know that he was Ferb. Yes, that's who I'm talking about. Thomas Brody Sangster is the guy's name.
Yeah, I that's the only thing I remember about that movie. How about
Yeah.
that? How about that?
Fair enough, because I mean I wasn't really crazy about the trilogy, but I got through them. I thought they got better, which is apparently I don't know if that's a hot take or not. I don't really know what the Maze Runner fandom is, but from what I've read, a lot of people say 3 is one of the stronger ones, and it had that opening action scene with the train. That was probably the best moment in the whole series to me.
I think I watched the first one and that was it. So maybe I'll have to watch them now.
Eh, I don't know if they're worth the time unless they do like a
Okay.
remake or something. But if you
Yeah.
like the first, maybe. But yeah, it is what it is. Let's see. In my eyes, see Oppenheimer. Jason, what's up? How you doing? We got Sully in the house. What's up, Sully? Top 3 DreamWorks movies, he asks. Coming in with the heat. I've actually personally been watching a bunch of DreamWorks lately. I watched the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy for the first time, and then I watched or rewatched the first 2 Kung Fu Pandas for the first time since years ago, and then I watched the third one for the first time. The one big DreamWorks movie that's on my list that my buddies are like, "You gotta watch," is the original Megamind. I haven't seen it, but
Yeah.
what are your top 3?
Uh, Probably Megamind 2, Kung Fu Panda 4. No, the no. In all seriousness, the first Kung Fu Panda is definitely, if not one, in the top 3 for sure. Um, then the first Shrek probably. I would love to put not Kung Fu Panda, How to Train Your Dragon, but I haven't rewatched them in so long that I don't know. But so Kung Fu Panda, Shrek, and um,
They got so many like Over the Hedge, Madagascar, like those types of movies. Like, do
right.
you remember the movie Monsters? Is it Monsters vs Aliens or something? Monsters and
I do
Aliens.
remember that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think that's my top 3. I don't know about
no,
you.
yeah,
Uh,
it's not mine.
I don't know. Do you have a top 3?
Mine would be right now, because I didn't really grow up with DreamWorks as much as like Pixar or Disney. Right now, number one is How to Train Your Dragon. I think loved it. I would then say the first Kung Fu Panda's up there for me. Really dug that, and then I'd probably go Shrek 2. I'm a
Okay.
big Shrek 2 guy over the first even.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that like that. Yeah, and then I guess for my third one, I might go Megamind. I rewatched it. And it was great. Yeah, it's definitely like,
Fair.
especially for us that like love the superhero genre. It's kind of like a spoof on it, and it's like genuinely funny. So
Mm. Yeah, I've heard I got to watch that, so I'll try and get to that soon. But I'm not going to watch the sequel. I heard it was
no,
awful. Heard it was actually unwatchable. So
yeah, I would say that.
Ryland's in the house. What's good, man? Um, my question for today is: what is the most epic ending to a sports movie? Ooh, I just rewatched. I saw you watch Coach Carter recently. I rewatched it last night because I wanted to show it to Cam. She'd never seen it, but that's a great question. A sports movie ending. I'd say without a doubt, like epic, and I'd have to say Rocky, but maybe Rocky 2 actually. Rocky 2 in terms of epic. That's when him and Apollo both are like down for the count, and then Rocky gets up and finally beats him. I'd have to say Rocky 2.
I'll throw a bone to the fighter.
Good one.
I remember the ending. Like I remember kind of being like even just like standing up and being like so like into it. Um, uh, Miracle also kind of comes to mind. I feel like the
Ooh,
ending of
yeah.
that movie is probably one of the better parts about it. Um, Even like the ending to like a Creed movie. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I think those are some good ones.
Well, I would say you make a good point there with Miracle, and it's hard to actually top that. I'm between Miracle and then Rocky 1 through 4 because every
Okay, yeah.
Rocky movie has just that epic moment where the score goes "Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na," and then he's like ah. So yeah, it's hard not to say one of the Rocky movies, but Warrior I haven't seen in a while. It does have one of those endings
Oh,
that's really good too.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, The Fighter, that's a
Go.
good pick. I remember when I first watched that, I was also pretty hyped up. I only seen it the one
Yeah,
time, but the music
yeah,
kicks in and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome."
yeah.
All right, let's see. Speaking of Tarantino, we'll just do favorite. What's your favorite Tarantino movie?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I agree. The ultimate hangout movie, man. And it ages like fine wine, truly.
Yeah, I just love, probably similar to you, I just love the vibes. I just,
Yeah.
like that just era that time period is just something that, even the set design, it's so, um, I don't know, it feels just like so lived in, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you love to live in it too.
Yeah, and it's like there's a weird nostalgic vibe to the movie, even though like none of us were around. Like we weren't around obviously in the '60s, but it's it's just you get really immersed into it, and the fact that two real life movie stars are playing these guys, you almost just want to hang out with them, and
Exactly.
that's what the movie allows you to do. So
Yeah.
big fan. Rylan with the Keep Watch Burn. We've got Scream 6, Saw X, and Halloween 2018. Ooh, this is pretty easy for me to be honest. I'm gonna burn Halloween 2018 because I'm fine never watching it of those three. I will keep Scream 6 because it's effectively like the ending to that series now, and I thought it was one of the best Scream movies. And then I'll watch Saw X because Saw's kind of hard to rewatch.
I have a soft spot, in my heart for, the Halloween movies, so I'm gonna keep
Okay,
Halloween 2018,
yeah,
watch Scream 6, burn Saw X.
fair. What's your thoughts on the new trilogy, like the Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends specifically?
I remember watching, Halloween Ends at, like, an earlier screening and being like, "What, like, I don't know what I'm witnessing right now, but I really like this." Like, funnily enough, and I was like, "This is going to be the most divisive thing." Like, when you just walk out of a movie and you go like, "People are going to absolutely hate this."
Yeah,
Um,
I was one of
so
those people.
I so there you go.
Yeah.
I so of course by that I like for Halloween 2018. I enjoy it and I have no problem with rewatching it. Halloween Kills, and then Halloween Ends. I've only seen it that one time, so like maybe rewatching, I'm gonna be like, I hate this Corey guy, but yeah, I like it.
Fair. I know a handful of people who have sort of a soft spot for that franchise as well. Um, I've only seen the original and then the newer films. I haven't watched all the sequels in the middle, but I mean, they got retconned essentially. So I'm like, I don't know. I think they
Okay,
got retconned at least.
yeah, and apparently they're gonna get retconned again with the potential show.
Yeah.
So
So there you go. Ewan's in the house. Shout out Ewan, the man. Everyone go subscribe if you haven't already. What's your favorite food? It's a good one. I like the food questions.
pizza.
Pizza? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say steak, like a ribeye steak with salad on the side and a baked potato, like loaded sour cream, butter, cheese, bacon. That's the way to go. That's like my favorite meal. That's like my birthday meal right there. It's my favorite.
Shit. You
It's
came
good stuff.
prepared with a whole entree, and I'm like, "Oh, pizza." But,
Maybe play some Frank Sinatra while I eat the steak. Feel real classy. Have some wine. Nah.
that would be incredible.
Oh man. Sean says, "Do you think Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire will be the last Ghostbusters film?" To that, I say it just depends on how much money it makes. If it flops the box office, then yeah, they'll probably do a reboot in 5 to 10 years again, or like remake it. But I don't know. I think that it's gonna do well. That's just my gut feeling. They kind of have the Ghostbusters movies kind of have their built-in audience, and the first Afterlife, I think it only made about 203 million worldwide, but because it was a smaller budget, it was able to get a sequel. I think that's probably going to be the case with this one. However, it's getting screwed because it comes out a week before Godzilla times Kong, which those movies always rack it up, even though they kind of stink. But
Yeah.
um, what do you think? Do you think this will be the last one? Do you think it'll do well? And what are your thoughts on Ghostbusters?
Um, I I don't know if I feel the same way. Maybe I'm just like I don't watch enough like cable TV or whatever. But like I feel like they haven't been marketing this one as much.
I know what you mean.
Um, but then again, I saw like a weird ad where like they edited a clip of Dan Aykroyd and like from like the original movie and then like the new one too, and it was like really like oddly sexual. I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm gonna have to find that and send it to you.
Yeah,
But
please do.
it was like a legit ad for the movie. But anyway, I really liked Afterlife, and I have I'm hoping that this one is good too. But I'm not a crazy fan.
That's fair. I don't really love the Ghostbusters franchise that much. Like I enjoy 1. I think 2's a step down. I'm gonna rewatch them all very soon before this new one comes out. Afterlife was one of the highlights of the franchise for me.
Yeah.
So I'm optimistic. I like that it seems like it's taking risks. Seems like a template this franchise hasn't followed before. So we'll see. But I do think it'll perform well. And then I go, man, Godzilla's coming out right after. It might screw it up. So we'll see.
Yeah, literally a week. Like that's crazy.
Not good. Not good. Keep watch burn with Scorsese movies: The Departed, Goodfellas, and The Irishman. I'm gonna throw it over to you first. This is tough, sort of.
I'll go exactly in that order. Keep The Departed, watch Goodfellas, and burn The Irishman.
I'm right there with you. And the reason The Irishman gets burned is because it's probably it's just the least rewatchable of those movies. Like I think The Irishman's very well made. I do think it's way too damn long. Yeah,
I watched it over the course of like, and I hate doing this, but I probably watched it over the course of like 3 days or something.
sometimes you just got to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I also, I like planned on watching the entirety of Scorsese's filmography, ranking it, and then I watched it and I was like, I'm gonna get crucified if I go anywhere public with my thoughts on Scorsese's movies.
Well, speaking of
Some
that, any any
no,
any hot takes you want to share?
that's my perfect answer right there.
Okay.
I think that Scorsese has less than 5 great movies.
Okay. Fair.
Um, yeah, and that might just be me, but um, yeah,
I will say this much from what I've seen. I have a lot of homework to do for Scorsese, but I've seen a lot of the big players, and it's just ironic how a lot of his films do feel a bit repetitive once you watch a good bit of them. That's all I'll say. I don't want to get into the whole Scorsese Marvel thing or anything like that, but yeah, I love The Departed. That's my favorite of his.
yeah, but
Wolf of Wall
I'm
Street
right
as
there.
well.
Yeah,
Favorite Ted Lasso characters. You watched Ted Lasso, right? I think.
yeah. Um, I there was a point in time where like anyone would call my name and I would say "Oi," and then
Very nice. Very nice.
I kind of just like if you, I felt like I was Roy Kent, and then I just kind of lost it. But probably Roy Kent, Ted Lasso, and am I missing someone?
I'm a big Jamie Tart fan. Like the development for his character,
Yeah,
they really turned me around on him over the
exactly.
course of the show. He's up there for me. Yeah,
And if
I'd say
anyone
him.
they uh, made me like less, it was Keely.
Mm. Yeah, she just
I
didn't
feel
have
like
as important of a role in the last season. That was kind of a bummer.
it was. The final season just it didn't go out with a bang.
I thought the finale episode was really well handled, but then there were too many ups and downs throughout the
Yeah.
season. I liked the Amsterdam episode, and then there was like dips. There
Oh
was
yeah, I
highs and
love
lows,
that.
but yeah, the Amsterdam episode's a hit for me. But yeah, it was too inconsistent in the final season, but it did end up sticking the landing for me, and so I can kind of look past it because I loved season 1 and 2 so much.
Yeah.
All right, looking through the chat here. Let's see. What's your favorite comedy film? This is from Sean. I have like 3 I can fire off real quick that come to mind. The Other Guys is up there. I would say Tropic Thunder has recently, within the past 2 years, really made its way higher up because I'd seen it years ago, but the rewatches, it just keeps getting funnier and funnier. And then I would, of course, probably have to mention 21 Jump Street. That's like the movie from the high school days for me that I would watch all the time. So those 3 are in the conversation. Honorable mention, Super Bad, but there's a lot of other great ones out there too. What about you?
I just went to Letterbox. Why do they have La La Land as a comedy? We might have to talk about that. I Borat. I love Borat. I also do love The Other Guys, and if you want to put Pitch Perfect as a comedy, like I'm a big Pitch Perfect fan.
Fair.
Um,
Those movies are
Planes,
awesome.
Trains, and Automobiles. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones.
Nice. Yeah. Pitch Perfect trilogy, underrated.
Yes.
Underrated. Are you excited for Superman, formerly known as Superman Legacy? This is from DC Stranger Things edits. I want to hear your thoughts on this, Ben, because I've got mine.
I am. I really am. It's probably I think that I just have a lot of faith in James Gunn, and it's one of those movies where I feel like I'm just really excited for it. But I totally understand why some aren't because they're just whether it's burnout or being like cautiously optimistic going into it. I think it's just a matter of I think David Corn Sweat could be a really good Superman, and depending on what James Gunn does with it, making it too much of a comedy could worry me a little bit. But we'll see.
Yeah, my biggest reason that I am looking forward to the film in a way is because of James Gunn and his relationship with the comic movie genre. The man hasn't missed, in my opinion. I love the Guardians trilogy and the Suicide Squad. So with him helming this movie, there's automatically a level of excitement there. But then again, I take a step back and I go, there's so much pressure on this movie. Could that get to his head? That's my only kind of concern there is there's so much pressure like the media and all a lot of people have said like this is the most important movie in the history of DC, and I kind of agree, to be honest with you. I know that sounds like a you know a hyperbolic statement, but if you think about it, it's like the original Superman movie from back in the day didn't have a ton of pressure. Batman 89 didn't have pressure. Now though, they're relaunching DC after about a decade of just mediocrity at best. And so if this movie fails, and it's supposed to set up this whole universe, like ah, it's concerning. So I'm being cautiously optimistic. I'm looking forward to it. But then again, Superman's not one of my favorite characters when it comes to superheroes. I've always preferred Batman, Spider-Man, Iron Man. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it, but this movie's got so much pressure, man.
It really does. I mean, it's not. It's not. There's no lie. Like it. They're putting so much money into it and like what is going to follow it that there's a lot on the line. And like, especially just if I was like in charge of just money at Warner Bros., I'd be very worried right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. Speaking of that, what is your favorite superhero movie? I've
The
never been
Dark
asked this
Knight.
question, by the way. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. um,
Yeah. Oh yeah, The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight, valid. I would say for me, it's I usually say like Infinity War, but I don't know. I kind of want to exclude the MCU for my answer, so I'm gonna say excluding the MCU. I really love the original Spider-Man with Goblin, the first Raimi film from 2002. That's probably my most rewatched Spider-Man movie besides No Way Home. So, yeah, that's high up there for me. Um yeah, I'm also excited to rewatch the X-Men movies. I'm going to do a big rewatch of those in like the summer leading up to Deadpool and Wolverine. Really looking forward to that.
Are you gonna go see Spider Man in theaters?
I hope to. Yeah, I know they're re-releasing the trilogy. I hope to see the whole Raimi trilogy because I didn't see any of them. I was 7 when the third one came out in 2007, so I was like 7, 8 years old, and so I never saw them. But I watched them on DVD. My neighbor had all of them. That's how I watched them for the first time. He had all the DVDs, and so we'd watch them. And so I love the movies. I probably watched them like 2008 for the first time. But yeah, I'm gonna try and see the trilogy in theaters, and maybe even TASM 1 and 2, even though I technically saw those in theaters. But yeah, are you?
I was thinking about that earlier. Maybe the first one because I'm with you. Like I love the original, but definitely not none of the MCU ones because I've obviously seen them in theaters. And yeah, maybe the first one. But we'll see.
For sure. Um, we have 52 people in here, by the way. So if you're in here, hello, welcome in. Hope you guys are enjoying. Hit the like button. Super chat's the way to go to guarantee we get right to your question, comment, or concern. It's a huge way to help support the channel. And yeah, let's keep on keeping on. My buddy Jacob, Star Court Food Court, asks, "What are your thoughts on Dune 2, Ben? You think it's the greatest movie of all time?" I'm just messing around here.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, no. I'm right there with you when it comes to like people calling it the greatest thing since like sliced bread. I don't think it's I don't think it's and people who are like, "Oh, it's gonna sweep it next year at the Oscars," like, you're a little crazy. I mean, obviously nothing not every movie revolves around how many awards it's gonna get, but, I thought it was great, but in term I feel like you can, uh, feel a little like your thoughts can go down a little bit on a movie with all these people calling it, like, the greatest thing ever, and then you're kinda like, "That was great, but I'm moving on." Um, and meanwhile, some people are still over here on Arrakis, riding the sandworm. So as much as I
Yeah.
would love to do that, yeah, what about you?
I mean, I saw the movie once. I know a lot of people have gone multiple times. I saw it the once, and I saw it at a screening prior to, um, like, a lot of big reactions and big reviews coming out. So I saw the movie, and, I was like, I thought it was really well done, but I had a fair share of issues. I was like, I wish that we got, like, an hour more still, and a lot of people, like, called me crazy regardless, but I appreciate the technical aspects. Denis is a visionary filmmaker. There's no denying any of that. But I just didn't it didn't blow me away. It didn't blow my socks off. And that was the expectation that was set by so many people. And so I think for me, it's a very well made movie. But I do think that I have to watch it again in like 2 or 3 years when I don't have to hear that in my ear that it is this movie destroys the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It destroys the Dark Knight. It destroys the Star Wars trilogy. It's like, why do we have to do that? We don't have to do that. And I've seen that take a lot. I'm not jumping. I'm not saying that yet. I can't make those claims. But it was a well-made movie. It's by no means one of my favorites, though. I've come to terms with that. I wanted Dune so badly, wanted Dune to be like, I want this to be like Star Wars for me, the original trilogy. It's just not. Um, but to each their own. It's just not fully my cup of tea. I get everyone loves it. I just don't see the levels of praise. I don't align with that. And it just blows my mind actually that so many people are like, yeah, it's the greatest movie ever. And you're allowed to have that opinion, obviously. But what I also believe firmly, love to hear your 2 cents on this, is whether it be positive or negative when it comes to early reactions. Say Madam Web, overwhelming negative, Dune 2, overwhelmingly positive. Whatever those early reactions are, that sets a standard that a lot of people automatically have a bias when they go into the movie, like a common moviegoer. And so I think people are harsher on movies like Madam Web, and people are gassing up movies like Dune 2 more just because that's the standard that's been set. And some people online, I think, are afraid to kind of speak their full truth on a movie. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, no, I think that there have been some actually, no, I really try to always stay, like, I don't know if you wanna call that humble, but, like, really just honest. I think that's what I'm looking for. Like, where if I walk out of a movie and I'm like, I didn't love that, like something like Toes of the Flower Moon, or I don't know, whatever, another big movie that everyone else loved. Like, I really just want to be like, stay positive in terms of like, be thinking to myself, like, it's okay that I didn't like a movie. And in terms of like all those big reactions coming out, it's always something you have to take with a grain of salt. And yeah, but, I'm going back to doing, like, why haven't they greenlit the 3rd yet? Like, what are we waiting for?
I have no clue, dude. It makes zero sense. Isn't it over 350 million worldwide already? I think it
Something
is.
like that.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think it's going to cross the $1 billion mark, but I do think
Mhm.
it'll make 7 to 800 million, uh,
Fair.
which is a damn good number. So yeah, I mean, it's inevitable with what's upcoming in March that it will fall off. It's not like I don't see it being like an Oppenheimer that just continues to have long legs. Because
No.
Barbenheimer was a thing for like a whole last month. So I do think once Ghostbusters comes out, I mean Kung Fu Panda beat it.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda beat it this weekend. So
Although I will say it did surprise me how much money it did initially make because, like,
I
I didn't
agree.
think that people would be, like, really coming out to support it, but they did, and I think that just shows to show you that people love to, immerse themselves in a, fantastical world.
hmm And especially the social media buzz helps, like TikTok. Like there's so many trending audios from that movie and like and clips going around. that I'm sure a lot of people have, thought of, oh, I'm going to go watch this. But then if you factor this in, March Madness is coming up, and that actually will have an impact on, not a big impact at all, but like
Yeah,
somewhat of an impact on people wanting to go to the movies. With Godzilla
sure.
coming out, with Ghostbusters coming out, I do think it'll dwindle. I would say it could get up to like, I'd say its ceiling is like, absolute ceiling is 850 million worldwide, and that's a huge number because it's still got a long way to go. But I don't think it makes a billion.
No, I'm with you.
All right. David says, "What is the worst Christopher Nolan film in your opinion?" In all caps, by the way.
In all caps. Um, I think I might hurt you a little bit. Tenet.
Okay, that's okay. I can respect it. I know a lot of people are not big fans of it. I love it, but I get it. Um, for me, it's always going to be his first movie following, but it's not a bad movie. It's just his worst to me because he was restrained by the budget and everything, but he still pulled off a pretty impressive story. Like there were so many ideas in that movie that were, we saw come up in Memento and other films. So it proved he's got it. He's got the sauce, but it's probably the worst in my opinion. But that's just me. All right, let's see. Looking through the chat here. Let's see. How's everybody doing? Let's see. Best. No, we already answered that one. Nolan should direct a JFK assassination film. Well, they already made a movie about JFK, so I don't think he would. I don't think he would take that on. They already made. JFK kind of already has a definitive movie. I haven't seen it, but I don't think that he would do
Yeah,
that.
I could see it, I guess, but
Ooh, does Gladiator 2 have a $300 million budget? Reports were saying 310 million.
it's insane.
Insanity. I mean, I love Gladiator. It's a Best Picture winner. It's become a classic. I think years from now, people will continue to say that, but I don't know if the sequel can make its money back. That's a high mark, man.
Especially if it's rated R.
Yeah,
Like, but I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that that movie got shut down. I think they probably like initially started right when the strikes hit, and
mm,
then like they had to keep all those sets and um, all the stuff that goes into it. So I think that that's really what inflated the budget. But I don't know how much, and you're not even taking into it like we're not even taking into account marketing.
yeah.
Like that could be if they want to make this movie big, like I'm sure that they want to, and I think that it probably can be. Um, I'd be worried.
It's concerning. And then you have to factor in that it comes out in November, and I think Moana 2 comes out around the same
Oh
time as it.
yeah,
That I mean, Moana 2 could make a billion. I don't think it's going to be all that because I know the behind the scenes of it being like a TV show, they're turning into a movie, whatever. But it's Moana. Moana 1 has become massive over the years. So it's going to have competition in November. And I worry. I worry. I think the movie's going to be great, but I don't know. Ridley Scott's hit or miss.
it's got Wicked going up against it too.
Oh, God. You're right. It might be
I
screwed.
think it might be the same weekend.
Oh, my God. If so, it might be screwed, which it
They might want
sucks
to
to
run away.
say. It might. It should honestly move to I don't think there's it should kind of no Christmas is loaded too. You got Sonic, you got Mufasa. But what I'm saying is if you move it into Christmas, is there a film like an R-rated film like that that's also coming out because it could dominate that market. A lot of people might still want to go see this epic gladiator film.
Yeah,
It might be
I mean, we
smart, but I
always
don't know.
see like a R-rated like drama sneak in there, like an Oscar baity movie kind of sneak in during that Christmas season. I
Yeah.
could see Gladiator 2 in like August. I don't know why.
Okay.
It's probably
Yeah.
not gonna be ready, but I think especially like as summer's kind of winding down.
Yeah.
Um, but then you have people going, back getting into like summer ending. I don't know. We'll see.
Honestly, I would not be surprised if Gladiator 2 got delayed. Like, I just
Yeah,
wouldn't any more than the current state of Hollywood. I wouldn't be surprised if it got delayed to like March of next year or something. Because I know Dune 2, it was because of the strike, but Dune 2 moved from November to March. And like, it's not a bad idea, especially if November gets super crammed, but
yeah.
we'll see. DJ says, Meter, what's your letterboxed?
It's just my Instagram handle, Twitter handle, YouTube handle, Meters Reviews.
Yep. I linked everything down below. I just forgot to do Letterboxd, but you can follow him,
Okay,
subscribe to him. All that's linked down below.
thank you.
All right, let's see. Water break. I got you. Cheers. What's your favorite dessert, Sean? With a food question. Love these. Favorite dessert. Ooh,
Probably just did a good chocolate chip cookie
yeah,
that like hits the spot.
it really does. And on occasion, with a glass of milk. I don't frequently drink milk, but
Ooh,
on occasion, it's just like you got to go for the classic there. I would say my weakness is ice cream, specifically like the Ben and Jerry's pints. Like I could eat a whole one of the peanut butter cup. It has like It's not your regular. It's like you might be thinking they have mini cups in there. It's like a big peanut butter cup, like that big,
yeah,
in the actual ice cream when you're eating it. It's just
they don't
glorious, and
do
it's
a good
peanut butter
job
ice
at
cream.
yeah. Um,
Do you
do
think
you
they
like
do a bad job of like spreading them out though? Like
what was
too
I gonna
much.
say?
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Um, I guess in terms of the spreading the wealth, but what do you think about cookies and cream? Because that's probably my favorite.
Cookies and cream is on the Mount Rushmore of like flavors for
Yeah.
me. Um, if we're going traditional ice cream flavors and all the variations, whatever, cookies and cream and chocolate chip cookie dough, I think are on there. I like a good old fashioned vanilla, and then that last slot, I mean, probably something revolving around peanut butter.
Yeah.
Um, Peanut butter cup. You could go. There's one at Brewster's. I don't know. Do you have Brewster's where you live? It's like an ice cream
I don't think so.
place. Do you have like what's your like ice cream place? Like Cold Stone, Brewster's? Do you have any of those, or is it? Do you have like a
I
local
remember
shop?
I got a Cold Stone, like, during the pandemic, and I was like I remember being really good, but really filling, and I
Mhm.
haven't gone back since, but they have so many flavors that I might have to go back there. But I don't like Dairy Queen, I guess, is a
Dairy
big spot.
Queen's elite though. Like the blizzards, I get the chocolate extreme blizzard. It's great.
Go nowhere near their, dinner meals. I think they're so
I'm not gonna lie
it's
though,
like
the $5
a
lunch
microwave.
back in the day. The $5 lunch back in the day. I don't know if they still have it. It was a steal, dude.
I know that they microwave their french fries, so, that
Yikes.
disgusts me.
Yikes. Uh, I love the food combos. Favorite thing to get at Taco Bell.
Oh god.
I haven't been to Taco Bell in years, or a while, I should say.
Yeah.
But I would go, and this was, I mean, the early 2010s. The Doritos Locos Taco. It had like a nacho cheese shell. That was the thing I would get.
You can't go wrong with that. I would say that too. But I feel like eating Taco Bell just, like, feels like nothing. Like, you're just, like, digesting it, and it's like you don't really feel anything.
It doesn't
It's
fill
almost
you
like
up.
yeah, no, it doesn't. I would you can compare it to, like, watching I don't know.
The Monsterverse.
Yeah, there you go, something like that.
Pretty much every single one of those movies, like Godzilla vs Kong, you just don't process it. It's
Yeah,
bizarre.
but it's there when you need it, so
Yeah, if you want it, if you're feeling down in the dumps and you want it. Let's see. Mark says I predict Dune Part 2 will get more Oscars than Gladiator 2. I think you're probably right because Dune Part 2 it's gonna be a Fury Road situation where it wins like six it's like wins every technical award. Like it'll win probably visual effects, potentially cinematography, potentially score, production design, like all these things. It's gonna add up. Sound. So I could see it racking it up there, but I'll kind of going back, hearkening. See what I did there? Hearkening back to what we were talking about earlier. Uh, I don't think like the people online are like Dune 2 is going to run away with everything. I'll be honest with you, man. This could be a hot take. I don't think anyone from that movie gets nominated for their performance. I'm serious. I don't. And I'm not saying they're bad. I'm saying it's March. A lot of other movies are going to come out. A24, Neon, all these films are going to come out later this year. It's going to overshadow it. And there's no individual performance. Like, there's no way in hell Austin Butler's getting nominated, in my opinion. If they nominate anyone, it's Timothée Chalamet. And they're not doing that. They're just not going to, in my opinion. He could land the nom, but they're going to praise Dune. They're going to reward Dune for the technical achievements, in my opinion.
I think it fits somewhere in, like, the Best Picture 10 too,
Mhm.
because of the
The
especially
first one even got nominated for Best Picture. So
right,
yeah,
exactly.
I think this one will too.
But I'm with you. Like, I also don't really necessarily believe it deserves an Oscar nomination because, I mean, I would if we're really reaching, I give it to Austin Butler because his performance is just like something you really never seen him do before, and I
Hmm.
think it's one of the best parts about the movie. Um, but yeah, I don't like Zendaya for Best Actress. Like, what are we talking about?
She's not getting nominated. Florence, no, she's barely even in the
No,
movie. Who else is in it? Now Josh Brolin, Batista, no, no. Timothy Chalamet's performance great. However, I'm all, I'm kind of. It sounds like I hate Dune every time I talk about it. I
no,
think a lot of people on social media uh, hype up any scene in the movie where he's like screaming and yelling, and like I get it, he's great, and I love a good yell scene. That's what I even say. I call him that. Like when Leonardo DiCaprio has an outburst scene, I'm like, love a good yell scene. But I do think a lot of people haven't seen all of Timmy's work. Like Little Woman, I think he was fantastic in that movie. I think that's a better performance than Dune Part Two. Even in his minor role in Lady Bird, I'm like, that's great acting. So I mean, I just don't think that it's the kind of performance they would nominate. I just
yeah,
don't see it, but you never know.
it's possible.
Anything is possible with the Oscars. You really never know. Let's see. I think Dune Part Two will get the Tech Awards. Yeah, we'll see. I honestly think there's a world where both of these movies get nominated for Best Picture. Gladiator 2 and Dune 2.
Yeah, probably.
Let's see. Do you think Minecraft will make a billion at the box office?
I think it's very dependent on release date, what the competition looks like, but the fact that Mario made a billion, uh, and especially just the fact that you have the Minecraft name attached to it, there's a good chance.
There's a good chance. I'm right there with you. I mean, it's the same thing if they make a Fortnite movie. It's going to make a billion at that point because video games appeal to all generations. Minecraft has been around. It's been around for a while in just society. I think this is a for sure success, especially with the voice cast. If they market it right, I would say Minecraft makes a billion, especially if you factor in like just international box office. Minecraft it'll be like the Super Mario effect. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. The one thing that I think you could be like, oh, then the movie like Borderlands is gonna make $1 billion. No,
No, yeah,
I
no.
don't, because that movie, I also don't think. I mean, did you when you were growing up, was Borderlands a big thing? Like, I feel like it's dead now.
I knew of it. Like I was at a
Yeah,
friend's house and he played it. But yeah, it's almost like they should have made that movie 10 years ago. Damn near
probably.
12 years ago. Like it should have came out or yeah, when I was in middle school the game should have came out. So that's like 2012, 2013.
I see a movie like that. I'm not even kidding. Like struggling to make $100 million.
Okay. I think it'll do I mean 150, 200. I mean, it just depends. It's an August release. August releases kind of get the short end of the stick a lot of the times because people are
That's
burnt
true.
out on going to the movies. I look at something
Yeah,
like Blue Beetle, it flopped. I think Borderlands could cross 200 million, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near the success of an animated
yeah.
Super Mario Bros. Of Minecraft. And Minecraft's an animated movie, right? I think it is. It has to be, right?
I think it's live action.
Live action. Okay.
Right.
Damn. I don't know. Either way, it's gonna rack it up. Either way.
Yeah.
But Stranger Fan with a super chat. Thank you so much. What do you think about Batman 2 being delayed? I I'm not happy, Bob. Not happy. But honestly, I can live with it. If
Yeah.
it means it's gonna be the best version of that movie, I'm totally fine with it. Also, I think we as a society have gotten so spoiled lately. About the time between movies and seasons of TV. It's like the original trilogy of Star Wars, 3 years in between. The Dark Knight trilogy, 3 years, and then 4 years in between. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah. And I think we're gonna get like this thing is that every year you're gonna have great movies. Just like obviously some years are better than others, but you kind of are gonna get mixed up in the fact that you're gonna get so many other good stuff that you're on. I will probably forget that. Oh, the Batman movie comes out in like a year or something like that. So,
Yeah, I mean, next year alone, we're getting, which the year the movie was supposed to come out, we're getting a Superman movie, Fantastic Four movie, Thunderbolts movie, and a Captain America movie. We're gonna be just
yeah,
fine. We're gonna be just
exactly.
fine. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. I wish. What really irritates me is how people will get pissed off about Stranger Things having 3 year wait. It's like it's to me, and a lot of high quality shows are gonna have longer waits now because it's an event type show. You look at something like Andor, even 2022, and the next season's not going to come out until 2025. It's 3 years. Even Barry had I want to say 2 to 3 year gap between season. I think it was 2 and 3. There was like it was like 2018 or 19, and we had to
Yeah,
wait like 2 or 3 years, and it was worth it. So I think that everything's gonna be fine. I don't know when this impatience arose for sequels, but it's bad. It's bad nowadays. People expect a sequel like the next year or within 2 years, and that's just really hard to do. Um,
yeah. I wonder if people were feeling the same, like when obviously movie news were, you heard about movie news differently in like the 70s, but like, did you think the same way when you heard that Star Wars was gonna have like a big gap? What was the gap between episode 4 and episode 5?
it was 3 years, 1977 to 1980.
Right.
Um,
So that's you have 3 years and change with this one.
yes,
So it's
and imagine being in 1980, right? And you have to wait till 1983 after The Empire Strikes Back ends. I Am Your Father. 3 years. I mean, it's brutal, but that's kind of standard actually. Now that I think about it, I
yeah.
mean, the Indiana Jones movies. It was 81 to 84, and then from 84 we didn't get one until 89. So it's like, yeah, that's about right.
And then you waited 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. And then we got another one that doesn't exist, but no. So I think it's going to be all right. I even think of something like Alien. 1979, I want to say was the first Alien. Aliens, I want to say was 1986. Terminator, 1984. Terminator 2, 1992, if I'm right, or it was like the 90s. So what is going on? I think it's a reflection of a greater issue we have as a society right now. I'm an impatient person, honestly. I'll admit it,
Yeah,
but it's just like it's gonna be okay. Just take a deep breath,
exactly.
everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah. Movie fan 2002 with another super chat saying, "Chris, you should check out Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I swear you'll enjoy it as much as How to Train Your Dragon and Kung Fu Panda." I've heard this from many people. Some close friends of mine in real life are like, "You got to watch this movie. It's fire." What are your thoughts on The Last Wish?
I remember similarly that was like another movie that came out and I feel like it became a thing on social media. A lot of movies are like that nowadays, but um I thought it was good, but I kind of like I'm moving on.
Mhm.
It didn't really stick with me, though. I thought the animation was just so cool, and it's similar to like what the style is going to be with the new like Wild Robot movie. I don't know if you saw the trailer for that, but
I haven't watched that
uh,
one yet, that trailer yet.
yeah, no. So I think it's good, but I would maybe you'll love it, but temper your expectations.
Yeah. I gotta see. Well, I mean, I definitely wanna watch that and Megamind. Those are the 2 big DreamWorks movies that I haven't seen. I also haven't finished the Shrek series, but I've been told not to. I've only seen the first 2 Shreks.
Shrek 3 is bad. Shrek 4 is goes out with a whimper.
Mm, damn shame.
Yeah.
Damn shame. Let's see. We'll go for a little longer here, so fire off your questions, super chat them in to guarantee we get right to them. And it's again a big way to help support the channel. And if you're here on the replay, thank you. Hit the like button, it helps out quite a bit. All right, let's see. Okay. I think Dune 2 is on pace for 750. That's a great number for that movie. The first one did like 400 something, I want to say. And it was the pandemic slash HBO Max. So
Yeah.
it's a good number. Hello, Pop Fan. What's your favorite HBO Max show? I'm just going to say HBO in general. That makes it a little easier. I would say, I mean, I got to look at a list, but I love Game of Thrones despite the ending kind of fumbling. I've watched the first 7 seasons of that show so many times.
Uh, I'm excited, definitely excited for House of the Dragon season 2, The Last of Us season 2. We mentioned Barry. I think Barry's great. But I feel like I'm forgetting some. I don't know if like I haven't seen The Sopranos. I don't know if you have.
No, I've seen the first episode, but for whatever reason, I wasn't the day. I wasn't feeling it. But no, I feel like there's some out there too that I'm not remembering. I haven't seen White Lotus.
Oh, White
Um,
Lotus. Yeah, White Lotus is
okay.
great.
Yeah, I've heard
Um,
good things. But no,
yeah,
yeah.
no, it's probably I there's some great stuff to find out there, but like I haven't started my show kick for the year. I need to
Hmm.
start that soon.
Oh, you're a big Succession fan, right? You liked Succession or?
Oh yeah, Succession. Um, the ending was just so great. I think that's a show that really took a while to get to that point where I was like, I love this, but I got there. I don't know if it's isn't my favorite, maybe not, but it's of course a great show for a reason.
Hmm. Yeah, that's on the list, and there's so many big shows out there like The Wire,
Oh yeah,
all time acclaim. I just haven't seen it.
yeah,
2025 is insanely stacked right now. That's a fact with movies and TV shows. I mean, it's that is probably going to be the next 2019. 2019 is like all time for me in terms of just, I mean, huge comic book films, huge movies in general. I mean, movies like Ford v Ferrari, Knives Out were coming out left and right, and it was just a pleasant time to be a movie fan.
it was.
So I think 25 is stacked. Uh, let's see, we have a super chat again from Movie Fan 2002. What are your top 5 MCU films as of this month? Good. I like that you specified because this changes for me pretty much a lot. It rotates, and I don't like being tied to one. Oh, I said this on February 28th. What is, yeah. So
Yeah,
I would say right now, I would say right now, Infinity War, Iron Man 1, Endgame, um, Civil War, of course, and No Way Home. But I will say Guardians 1 and Guardians 3 are like fighting. So those are like the ones that I'll rattle off right now. They're fighting for those top spots.
I would go. May was it top five? The first Guardians, No Way Home, Endgame, um, maybe the first Iron Man
Mm,
and Winter Soldier.
fair.
Yeah,
Winter Soldier is beloved. It's a beloved one for sure. Um, let's see. Someone asked, should I drink water? Yes, absolutely. Water is the key to life. Water is a
yeah,
must.
it's a great
Uh,
question, but yeah, yeah, you should.
favorite fast food restaurant from Jolie or Jolly?
Mm, look, you can't go wrong with the McDonald's, but uh, Wendy's is great. Um, I you can consider Jersey Mike's fast food, but
You could. Jersey Mike's hits.
yeah, it does. Yeah, what about you?
I would say Chick-fil-A is up there for me.
Oh yeah, of course.
Raising Cane's fire, and then McDonald's is just classic. Like I know it's
Yeah,
popular to hate on for some reason, but McDonald's is reliable. Every now and then you got to have McDonald's every now and then.
of course.
Gavin says Conjuring or Insidious. I go the Conjuring, but I do really say that race between the first film, like the first Conjuring versus the first Insidious, it's a pretty narrow window, but I give the slight edge to the Conjuring.
I can't give a fair answer because I haven't seen the Insidious movies.
Okay.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, first two really really good. 3 and 4 not so good. 5 but 1 and 2 both James Wan directed. So
Mhm.
his style shines. His style shines through. We'll take like a few more questions here, so fire them off, maybe 1 or 2 more. Um someone says Five Guys is the best fast food. It's good every like once a decade. Yeah,
It's
because it's so
good, but
damn
it's
expensive.
yeah. I was gonna say it's pricey. Like, how much is one burger? Like,
I honestly think if you went in there and you got a burger, and you put like some standard toppings on it, and then you got, say it's a double burger or whatever, and then you get like fries. I would bet just that, I would say is it used to be like $15. I would say now it's probably $17-18 just to get a burger and fries, I would say.
Which is insane. You can get maybe half of the McDonald's menu for that. No, but
There was a
yeah,
time where you legit could.
yeah, there was.
Oh man, no, yeah, that's good old Five Guys. Dark Hawk Official says Whiplash or Remember the Titans. You guys
That's
know
your
I
top
love
five.
those are those are two of my all-time favorites right there. Yeah, I mean, gun to my head, Remember the Titans. It's just it means so much to me personally, and I have to go Remember the Titans. I think even I would argue it's a bit of a better movie. Now, Whiplash, one of the great endings and just one of the best movies of the century to me. But I give the edge to Remember the Titans. I really do. Just soft spot right here, man.
That's, I mean, that's fair, totally. I haven't seen Whiplash in so long, but both great films, and it's hard because they're different films too. Um, but yeah,
Fair. Yeah. I think that's a good one to end on. Talk about some favorites. But yeah, that was a fun little quick hour, 5 minute stream on this Wednesday evening. Thank you guys so much for joining in, asking your questions, sending in your supers. It really does mean a lot. And if you're here on the replay, also, thank you. I know a lot of you guys can't join these live. So if you're tuning in on the replay, thank you. But before we get out of here, Ben, thank you for joining me. You got anything coming up on your channel and let people know where they can find you?
yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Of
You
course.
can find me everywhere on at Just Meters Reviews. In terms of what's coming up, March is going to end with Ghostbusters and Godzilla. Then we get into the summer season, and things are looking up. So
Yeah.
yeah, good stuff ahead. I'm
For
excited.
sure. No, but it was great to have you on, man. A pleasure as always. And if you guys are here in the chat, go follow Ben on all the social medias. Go subscribe to his channel. It's linked down below. But that'll do it for this stream. Thank you guys as always. And until next time, see you guys later.